talking about a home. Talking about me and you. Things we'll do. I said a home. Not talking about a one-night stand. I wanna be your man. I said a home.
From the people who bring you Charleston Home and Design Magazine, the Charleston Home and Design Show, the Custom Home and Remodel Show, and Charleston's online home show, newhomecharleston.com, this is Talking About a Home. Talking About a Home is a home show on the radio, featuring interviews with local experts, home tips, trends, and ideas you need to know to make your home better. I'm Michael Blaze with 5 Star Real Estate, and this is Talking About a Home.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I want to thank you for listening to Talking About a home show on the radio. In addition to our radio show Talking About a Home, we also publish Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and we also organize 3 custom home shows. Well, today we've got a great show lined up for you. Today's radio show is coming to you from Charleston Revisions in Mount Pleasant. And we're going to be talking to Lori Cooper with Charleston Revisions, also Drew Taylor with Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration, Brian Fletcher with Jilco Kitchen and Bath, Jeff McLean with Signature Appliance, and also we've got 2 bonus interviews for you, one with Pella Windows and Remark Landscape Architecture, and these are interviews from the Custom Home and Remodel Show, which took place August 16th through the 18th. So we've got a great show lined up for you, and have a great weekend. I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I want to thank you for listening to Talking About a home show on the radio. Today's radio show is coming to you from Charleston Revisions, with their 2 locations right next door to each other at 1212 and 1214 Fairmont Avenue, right off of Coleman Boulevard, right across the street from GDC Home, which is a good landmark. And now we're talking to the owner of Charleston Revisions, Lori Cooper. How you doing, Lori?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Well, first of all, Lori, thank you for hosting today's radio show.
Of course.
And why don't we have you start out by telling everyone about Charleston Revisions?
Well, we've been around in this location for about a year and a half. The original location for a year and a half, and the current location for 3.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
you took over Victoria's consignment.
Yes, exactly.
So it's two converted single-family houses that are now being used as commercial.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. So we started out in the littler building, the smaller building. Mainly, I moved from my original location at Southern Accents to my current location because I started selling chalk paint. Mm-hmm. And it's a definite do-it-yourself product, but it has a lot of questions, and so putting it in a booth was not a good idea because people have lots and lots of questions.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So I started looking for a retail space.
Okay. Now, what as far as what kind of paint a picture? What will people experience when they visit Charleston Revisions? We have a lot of customers here today, for example, who are walking through, and what will they experience?
Well, I have a mix of new and old, about 30% new, 70% hard to find, one-of-a-kinds, redesigns is kind of what I say. I love mid-century modern, Danish modern furniture, Hollywood Regency, Palm Beach style, sassy, glammy furniture. Some pieces I reinvent, whether it be with paint or new hardware, or just recreate into something totally different, mm-hmm. Or like TV cabinets into bars or something like that. And then I also do new products like the Turkish tea towels that are wonderful towels that are loomed for the Hammam and are really absorbent but not heavy. It's great for this environment because it doesn't take long to dry. Mm-hmm. I have Wicked candles from Los Angeles. They're so fun. They're very, very dramatic and glammy. Mm-hmm. And Lalia, a product that is for bath and body. Mm-hmm. It's really pretty and smells delicious. I also have a new product coming in that we're going to launch a week from today, Society Social, and it's a new line of furniture that's adorable, and it's made and designed by a woman who's from North Carolina but lives in New York, and her name is Roxy, and she has a very popular blog called Cup of Tea, T-E with just T-E, not T-E-A. Mm-hmm. And she's really popular in the blogging world and for her style and fashion.
Great. So, and I understand that that some of the production companies, the TV production companies, movie production companies that film here in Charleston, they're big customers of Charleston Revisions.
Yes, they are, and it's been really fun because I'd much rather my furniture be famous than me. But
What
it's really
kinds of
fun.
pieces have the production companies come to Charleston Revisions
Everything from large cabinets and case pieces to small barware and brass figurines, and everything in between, lamps, everything. You name it.
for? Gotcha. So you were mentioning chalk paint. What is chalk paint, and how does Charleston Revisions use chalk paint?
Well, it's a paint for furniture, floors, and walls, and it is named after the velvety matte finish that it gives, and it's a gorgeous finish. It also is really easy to use. Do-it-yourselfers all day. Newbies, people who've never refinished furniture, are scared of painting with oil-based paints or latex paints. It's so easy. It's water-based. You clean, generally speaking, you clean your pieces and you paint. There are a few exceptions, like Formica. You need to scuff up Formica a little bit, but once you scuff it up, it'll stick really well. You gotta get rust off, little things like that. But the general rule is clean it well and paint. You can redo your kitchen cabinets yourself, which is seems daunting, but you can do it.
Gotcha. And people can buy the chalk paint and take it home with them from Charleston Revisions, but then you also paint some pieces and then sell those pieces,
Yes,
right?
several of the pieces that are in my shop currently, of course, are painted with the chalk paint. It's such a pretty finish. It's great for the piece with lots of detail or the French provincial piece, but you can use it for modern pieces as well. And I always say you can do it. I know you can do it, but if you don't want to, we'll do it for you. I mean, we paint for people as well.
Gotcha. And what I thought was interesting was when you kind of took me on a tour of Charleston Revisions is when it comes to painting some of the pieces of furniture, you're very specific on the type of furniture that you'll take in to repaint. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, for my store, I think it's really important to kind of create your genre and kind of stick with it. The things I love are mid-century modern and the Danish modern, which typically I don't paint, and then the other side is the French provincial and the English pieces, and actually the two together look really nice. I always say I'm a little bit French country and a little bit mid-century rock and roll, and somehow they work well together. So, but for me, and my time and everybody else's time, I would prefer to paint fine pieces of furniture. I mean, my pieces are Drexel or Henredon, Century Furniture Company. They're not pieces that I think will fall apart. Good furniture stands the test of time, and so it's worth my time to make it updated and more modern and usable.
Yeah, so these are pieces of furniture that are well built. They're
Oh, yes.
They're
Solid wood. Generally speaking, now you'll have Formica over solid wood from the 60s because I thought that was a good idea, but that's okay. You can paint it with the chalk paint.
right. And so a lot of people might have some good quality furniture that's still usable, but it's dated.
Sure.
It just doesn't make sense to put it in their house today, and they could come to Charleston Revisions. And how could you folks help them?
Well, for me, and in a shop where I'm reselling, I only paint fine furniture. However, if you have a piece of furniture that's not particularly fine, but it fits your space, or you just don't want to buy something new right now, even that can be reinvented into a really beautiful piece. So when people come in, we give them tips and quick lessons, but I also give classes. I do a painter and piece class, a beginner's class, and an advanced class.
Cool, good deal.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what are some of your customers? What are some of the things that you've heard them say about Charleston Revisions over the years?
Well, I think I have two different types of customers, really. I have the people who are lovers of the mid-century modern and Danish modern furniture, and they're a diehard group. I'm definitely one of those. I love that furniture. It's kind of an obsession for me. But I also have, and sometimes they also paint furniture, but then I have a group that's really, they're truly do-it-yourselfers, and a lot of people who resell all over town. Resell their reinvented pieces all over town.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and that's a great. I think that one of my favorite things about this paint is it's opened doors for people who were stay-at-home moms for a long time and just needed an outlet, a creative outlet, make a little extra money. It's really been it's been great for that reason. And meeting people.
And some people may not know when you say mid-century or the modern Danish. Kind of describe what that type of style is in
Well,
furniture.
typically it's a very clean line, tapered legs. The Danish pieces often use rosewood as their embellishment, so it's not really anything carved necessarily, but they'll use the wood grains to make the piece, beautiful. That's one of the reasons you wouldn't want to paint it necessarily, because it might be kind of an austere box, but the wood they used and the woodworking that they did was so fine that you wouldn't want to necessarily cover that with paint. Because
Gotcha.
it doesn't really do anything else. That's what says the piece is what it is.
Right. And mid-century, you're referring to the 50s,
American
40s,
movement.
50s, 60s era.
Really 50s, mid 50s, 60s, early 70s. Yeah.
You-
I even like 80s.
You,
Like 80s Miami glam.
Uh-huh.
Fun.
You mentioned the TV show Mad Men.
Yes.
As,
Oh, yes.
That's the type of furniture
Oh, yes.
furnishings that you might find here at Charleston Revisions.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think half the reason I watched that show is to say, oh, I have that. Oh, I had that one time. Look, those lamps that are in Don Draper's. I have those too. So it's really fun. Yes, I
Gotcha.
love barware, mid-century barware, vintage barware.
Do your customers, do they furnish their entire houses with mid-century, or would it be just maybe a room or just a piece or two?
Depends. They run the gamut for sure, but I mean, generally speaking, most people use pieces here and there, and a lot of the local interior designers weave those pieces into their larger, aesthetic.
Gotcha. Well, tell everybody how they can get in touch with Charleston Revisions.
Well, we're located behind Mike's Bikes and across from GDC on Fairmont Avenue. And our Facebook page is much better than our website, I hate to say. So www.facebook.com/Charleston Revisions. That's where I keep all my class schedules and so forth. You can also call us at 843-388-7880.
Okay, great. Well, we have been talking with Lori Cooper, the owner of Charleston Revisions, and thanks so much, Lori, for hosting today's radio show.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and today's radio show is coming to you from Charleston Revisions, located at 1212 and 1214 Fairmont Avenue in Mount Pleasant, and that's right across the street from GDC Home. That's a good landmark on Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant. And now we're talking with Drew Taylor, the new owner of Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration. How you doing, Drew?
Good. How are you?
Good. Drew, why don't you tell everybody about Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration?
Well, Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration has been operating in Mount Pleasant for about 33 years. Bud Carpenter started the business back in 1980 and has been servicing the Low Country for over 3 decades now.
Okay.
Recently, I've purchased it from one of his apprentices that bought Bud out when he retired, and I'm taking over the operation from here on out.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, people might get a little bit confused. That word carpenter, they think a
carpenters and
guy with a
antiques.
hammer,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So, what does Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration? What do you folks do?
Well, the background of the company started with furniture, repair and refinishing, helping people bring antiques or family pieces back to life. Since then, we've grown into refinishing kitchens, cabinetry, doing custom cabinetry, custom building, and custom furniture. So it's really a full array of services for any sort of finished custom work within your house, from furniture to your kitchen. We can
Gotcha. So, if somebody has a piece of furniture, maybe they bought it at a flea market, maybe it's been handed down to them. and they want to make some changes to it, they could take it to Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration, and you folks can help them with that.
That's right. A lot of people will actually do that. They'll go to a flea market and do some picking of their own because that's a neat experience for them to be a part of. And they bring the piece to us, and it's, you know, the condition that it's in. And then because we do our own finishing, we do our own colors, we can custom finish the piece for them. So they can pick out a piece of furniture that they've seen in a magazine, and they can have that finish basically applied to this piece, this gem that they've found, and we can do that for them. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's definitely a service that we.
Good deal. And I can kind of give my own personal experience with Carpenter's Antiques and Restorations. About 4 years ago, we brought a farm table with benches to Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration. This is when Bud Carpenter was
that's
still
great.
involved, and it was an older farm table, had a lot of sentimental value. My aunt and uncle, my uncle had actually built this farm table out of cypress wood, and then my mother wanted as a gift, wanted to get it refinished, and she did, and unfortunately it took a lot of the natural patina, and there were some wear marks where
That's right.
over the years the family had their elbows on the table.
The natural antique.
Yeah,
piece,
all of that disappeared, unfortunately, and so it looked like a new piece. And this was not Carpenter's Antiques work on that, by the way. And so when we moved into our new house, we wanted to use that table, but we wanted to paint it, and we wanted it to not look so new.
Right,
And so Carpenter's Antiques, you folks painted it, the legs white. You toned down the tabletop and added some distressing to it.
That's
and my family uses it to this day. We love it. It's a main focal point in the great room of our house. And so Carpenter's Antiques, you folks did an awesome job with that.
Which is something we take pride in because we're a part of a functional piece for you, something that's involved in your life. So we're restoring or bringing something back to life that you care about. So it's easy for us to care about it because you're coming to us already caring about it. So it's great that we can do those kind of things and be, like you said, we've been a part of that for you, and you use it to this day. So
Right.
And that's exactly.
So does Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration, do you folks sell antiques?
No, Bud used to do that. He had a storefront back a number of years ago. But right now, we concentrate on pieces that the customer already owns or that they've gone and purchased and they're wanting us to do. Sometimes we turn over a piece if we find a nice piece, that's come up. I'd like to refinish it and send it out or try to sell it. But right now, we concentrate on just what comes into the shop.
Gotcha. Let's talk about the other end of the business for Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration. How can you folks help homeowners in the kitchen?
The kitchen is actually a really interesting place for us because we can offer, from the ground up kind of approach. If it's a new house or you're remodeling your house, we can put in a brand new custom kitchen for you. The other option that I like to talk to people about is the refinishing of a kitchen or restoration of a kitchen. And it really helps a customer cut down on the price of their project because we're not removing the boxes or the work that's already been done. We're basically approaching it like a piece of furniture. We want to take it back to its original form and then build a custom color or finish on there that you want to see from a new kitchen. So it allows you as the customer to get a new product without actually physically replacing the product, just the finish essentially.
Gotcha. So when we say new custom kitchen, you're Carpenter's Antiques and Restorations, you folks aren't going to get involved with the countertops or...
No, we generally bring people in for the countertops. Different trades, they specialize in those things for a reason. We do custom, like if it was a wood countertop or something like that, we do custom woodwork.
Okay.
So we do offer that, but when it comes to like granite or solid surface or something like that, we have, our go-to trades that we utilize, and they specialize in that so they can offer a really good product.
So it can still be a turnkey operation,
Almost definitely.
working with
Yeah.
Carpenter's Antiques and Restorations, but
Yeah.
you folks are going to concentrate more on the cabinetry, the kitchen cabinets, and I would guess even vanities in the bathroom.
Yeah,
too.
we do tons of vanities. Right now, actually, a huge trend that we've seen in our custom side is people putting in units on both sides of their fireplace. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll go in and put in bookshelves or a workstation on one side or a TV station on one side, and those seem to be a lot of our custom projects right now.
So it goes beyond just refinishing antiques and custom cabinetry in the kitchen. It's also built-ins that surround a fireplace, or built-ins anywhere in a home
Any
office.
space utilization, really. We can come in and take a look at a certain space that you have in your house that's maybe not being utilized to its fullest potential, or at all, around a window, under a staircase, something unique, and we can show you how you can utilize that space for storage or functionality or usability. So,
Yeah, everybody needs more organizational space at home.
most definitely.
We all clutter than we know what to do with. And so Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration, you folks are offering a solution for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, let's talk about somebody who maybe has bought an existing house. They've got some decent cabinets, but they're dated. Let's say they're the boxes are good plywood boxes, let's say, but maybe they have oak cabinet doors that
Right.
stained
Yeah.
look that maybe our mom or dad
Yeah, that's
has or had at one
Was
point.
popular at one point,
Very
but not
popular.
so popular now.
But now, people like painted
That's right.
cabinets.
That's a
And
big trend.
describe how you can help a homeowner transform existing cabinetry so that they can will they be saving?
Yeah,
on
most
it?
definitely, because we utilize the pre-existing cabinet that's there. What we would do is we could offer a couple different approaches. We can go in and use the cabinetry and replace like their drawers and door fronts and stuff like that, updated profiles, updated finish, that sort of thing, or try to utilize, if they like the profile, say, of their doors or the style of their doors, but don't like the stain or the oak or something like that, we can still work with that product and then again just apply a custom finish on that. We usually go in, remove the drawers and doors and process them in the shop, and then we do all our on-site stuff. We set up like a portable spray booth and start going to town.
Gotcha. So you don't have to remove the cabinets.
No, not at all. That's part of the services. We try to make it sort of quick and easy for them, so the displacement of not having access to your kitchen or your bathroom is, shortened to as much time as possible. In a remodel, they're having to rip stuff out and put it back in, so you can go weeks without, the use of that. With us, generally, even on a large kitchen, we can be in and out within that week span and have a brand new product waiting for them. So,
That's great. That's great. Well, tell everybody. Oh, and I wanted one more question about kitchens. Like, maybe if you've got an older kitchen, you don't have those nice soft closed drawers.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've seen a huge trend in, is people are updating their hardware. And that is actually a great way to update your kitchen, because you're updating the functionality of the kitchen. And when you have nice, soft closing drawers or soft closing doors, it changes how you feel about your kitchen. So
Right.
we go in, and even on an old door, if we're still utilizing that, we can drill out and replace sort of the old hinge style of that door with a modern, European hinge or soft close hinge, or slides on your drawers. So we do lots of retrofitting with hardware, and we're able to update the kitchen and how it's actually used and how it performs for you.
Good deal.
as a-
Well, tell everybody how they can get in touch with Carpenter's Antiques and Restorations.
It's pretty easy. You can call us at the shop, 843-884-3411. That's the shop number. We do have a website, which is carpenters-restoration.com. You can stop by the shop. We're 748B King Street in Mount Pleasant, right off Coleman.
Not the King Street downtown.
That's right, and I usually have to specify that, especially on the phone or to a new customer. We have had some people go downtown. We're in Mount Pleasant. We're right off Coleman, right behind Red Drum Restaurant, so it's pretty easy to find. Someone's usually always in the shop, so you can always call us or stop by or check us out online, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of us.
Okay, good deal. Well, we have been talking with Drew Taylor, the new owner of Carpenter's Antiques and Restoration. Thanks so much, Drew.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and today's radio show is coming to you from Charleston Revisions, located at 1212 and 1214 Fairmont Avenue. Two separate houses make up Charleston Revisions. right across the street from GDC Home off of Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant. And now we're talking with Brian Fletcher with Jillco Kitchen and Bath. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. Brian, tell everybody about Jillco Kitchen and Bath.
Jillco Kitchen and Bath is a cabinetry and countertop supplier, but more importantly is a kitchen and bath design company. We have a showroom where building professionals or the general public can come in and discuss projects, and we design them and and provide the installation service as well as the design work.
Gotcha. Okay, so if a customer was interested in remodeling their kitchen or bath, what aspects would Jillco Kitchen and Bath be able to help them with, or would it be a completely turnkey project?
It is completely turnkey. The first step is the space planning of it, which involves, in our case, the kitchens and baths. Sometimes that involves remodeling the house, just depending on the scope. So obviously there's a lot of work that takes place before we get to the site and actually do the physical work. So the planning and the identifying what the scope of work is and the designing is all done either on site or in our showroom.
Gotcha. And so as far as the products, some Jillco Kitchen and Bath, you folks specialize in cabinetry, but you also can help homeowners with the countertops as well, right?
That's correct. We have lots of sampling in the showroom as well as full mock-up kitchens and baths, and sampling as in cabinetry materials, hardware, plumbing fixtures, and countertops, so that those can be viewed and taken to your home, and so we can determine what the finished product will be.
So the cabinetry, the countertops, the knobs and pulls that would go onto that cabinetry, and then not the faucets or sinks or things like that, right?
We do sinks. When
sinks.
a lot of the countertops that we sell are granite or solid surfacing, and it has an undermounted sink. So we provide and install the sinks in those cases.
Gotcha. What are you finding the customers with Jillco Kitchen and Bath? What are they asking for? What are you seeing as far as trends go?
As far as trends goes with remodeling, I mean, it's your basic updating. As you mentioned sinks, very popular farm sinks, which is a way to do a sink where it's integrated into the front of the cabinetry. It's typically one large bowl, but there's many different designs. We're still seeing a lot of white painted wooden cabinets. So, as opposed to a more lower end like a thermofoil type cabinet, we're seeing a lot of wooden cabinets, a maple cabinet, and it's painted white. That's the most popular finish right now. So that kind of goes full circle. That was also relatively popular in the early 90s. And then we're seeing a lot of contrasting also, but mostly it's like either a white perimeter and maybe a contrast of a focal island in a different color. And obviously the interior accessories are very popular too, especially with remodeling. Typically with remodeling, you've got somebody who's had an existing kitchen, so they're very familiar with what they have, and they're also very familiar with what they want it to become, and it's almost always centered around increasing the amount of storage, or making it more ergonomically friendly. And those are really the most satisfying projects, because you've got somebody that has used a kitchen that they have identified the shortcomings, and then the challenge is what can you do in that same box, same space a lot of times, to elevate their enjoyment of the room.
What if a customer wants to expand the kitchen or knock down a wall here or there? Would Jilco bring in a general contractor for that?
We do most of the time. If it's going to involve structural changes or walls moving, we bring in a trade partner to either work alongside us or maybe even directly contract with the customer, and we'll contract underneath that general. So we're pretty flexible company. We kind of adapt to whatever the project evolves to and however the customer wants it to happen.
Good deal. Well, are you seeing more painted or stained cabinetry from Jilco Kitchen and Bath?
Absolutely more painted. When the customer is not inhibited by budget or something, it's running more than 75% painted, and even the artistic things done on top of paint are becoming less popular. Like glazes, having a paint and a glaze is less popular than it was, and it's just a straight paint. We also offer any Sherwin-Williams color. We can do a kitchen in, so you can do whatever color you want. You can do a custom color, but just straight paint is the most popular finish.
Gotcha. And you mentioned white is still extremely popular. And you referenced the 90s. It really has white always been pretty much the most popular color?
No, it hasn't. Back in the 90s, it was relatively popular, and then people did go to more of a richer finish, and now you're just seeing more of those rich cherry type finishes, mostly for accents. So we're not seeing a lot of traditional raised panel cherry kitchens as much as we did. Now it's straight lines, clean white or off-white, shaker style.
Shaker style, yeah. That's
as far as the most important.
Right, and the nice thing about shaker style is it being a very simple cabinet door front. It's also it'll save people money, right?
Yes, it's not a difficult thing to do. So it is more straightforward. That might be some of the determinant, but there's a lot of variance of the shaker door too. A lot of times we do a heavier style, so instead of having a thin style and rail to it, you have a real thick one. So you get kind of the weight of a raised panel door, but it's still a shaker look.
Gotcha. It's only about the middle of September now, but is there when it comes to a construction project, it does take a good bit of time. Is there time? At what point will it be too late for customers if they wanted to get a new kitchen or bath for the holidays?
We are currently having a lot of requests of before Thanksgiving, which is very depending on the scope of it. If it's new construction, obviously that schedule is what it is. But if it's remodeling and it's a relatively straightforward scope, just replacing the kitchen, not moving any walls, yeah, by Thanksgiving is very achievable. And you get outside of that, we're getting into that time frame already.
Right. So people shouldn't wait. They should
Right.
Start doing their homework and visiting Jilco Kitchen and Bath soon.
Yes. Well, people typically say, well, what is your lead time? Well, the lead time, say it's 4 weeks, but it takes sometimes several weeks just to get the design exactly what the customer wants. So as soon as you can get the design started, the better.
Gotcha. And Jilco Kitchen and Bath, you folks can help homeowners not just in the kitchen and bath areas, but home offices. What about like the cabinetry you might see surrounding a fireplace, that kind of thing?
Yes, we do built-ins around the fireplace, all different types of uses for those areas. Most people are using a widescreen TV, so you don't see as many of the pocket doors enclosing the TV like you did years ago. We also do home offices, and for a lot of people that are, a live-work kind of space is very popular now. So a lot of those same products carry over from our kitchen and bath manufacturers.
Sure. Well, tell everyone how they can get in touch with Jillco Kitchen and Bath.
We have a website. It's jillcokitchenandbath.com, and our showroom is on Clements Ferry Road. It's 2300 Clements Ferry, which is exactly 2 miles from the 526 exit 23B on your left.
Just off of Clements Ferry Road, then.
That's correct.
Off of 526. Okay. Well, we have been talking with Brian Fletcher with Jillco Kitchen and Bath. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you, Tim.
If you're just joining me, I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and today's radio show is coming to you from Charleston Revisions, located at 1212 and 1214 Fairmont Avenue, two separate single-family houses that are converted to for commercial use, right across from GDC Home in Mount Pleasant, right off of Coleman Boulevard. And now we're talking with Jeff McLean with Signature Appliances. How you doing, Jeff?
Very good.
Good, good. Jeff, tell everybody about Signature Appliance.
We're a small locally owned business. We specialize in full custom installation of every product that we sell. And we really define ourselves through customer service and how we can help you in the long run, not just the short-term easy sale.
Okay. Signature Appliance, what types of appliances does Signature Appliance sell?
We carry all major brands. We currently have 94 brands available, everything from the biggest to the littlest, with the Amana, Maytag, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, all the way up to your Sub-Zero Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Bosch, and everybody in the middle.
Gotcha. So I know that Signature Appliances, you folks do a lot of work with the high end, the people building custom homes, and you work a lot with custom builders and architects and interior designers, and what types of brands are they buying from Signature Appliances?
The big value trends right now seem to be in the Bosch and Thermador products, and a lot of other companies have come in with some big incentives. Purchase a range-free dishwasher or purchase a range-free hood type programs, so that you can get a lot of tremendous value even out of some of the higher end brand lines that you can purchase in maybe the generic KitchenAid price range. But what we do, is we focus on not necessarily the brand name, but making sure that everything works and functions through aesthetically as well as with the shape of the handle, not necessarily the brand on the appliance, to fit your needs as an individual.
Okay, good deal. Although some people probably do, they say they want that big red chunky knob range, right? And,
Yeah.
and that is kind of, is that the Thermador well known for
The Sub-Zero Wolf, the Wolf
yeah,
range
Wolf,
is the big
that's
red
it.
knobs.
Yeah.
And it's very rare to sell one with the black or stainless option that they offer. Usually that product goes into the higher end showcase homes that the kitchen's going to be used some or maybe not. However, Wolf does remain, the leader in cooking and refrigeration. They're a tremendous product, and definitely worth their weight. Sometimes maybe their customers don't always use them to the extent I would.
Right, commercial grade, they may not be commercial type cooks, right?
Correct.
Gotcha.
The idea behind all this is to bring that professional product in the house, but do our residential, our home life jobs, and not run at the pace of a restaurant.
I
So
understand.
it's having that ability to slow it down, and Sub-Zero's Wolf is actually really leading that industry with their control on their burners. It is a unique product, and it does help bring that pro class into your home and make it manageable for you.
What about the average homeowner out there that might be, buying a house for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 range? Will Signature Appliance be able to help them?
Absolutely. We're like everybody else. Appliances in this area particularly don't have a large margin, so we can provide that 4-piece stainless kitchen at $19.99 like everybody else is advertising, all the way up to the biggest kitchen. We really have the full product line. We're kind of the builder's secret, so we're not known for that short retail sale. But the builders have found comfort in us with our customer service ongoing. It's not the easy sale. As I keep saying, it's how we handle ourselves down the road. When you're 6 months, 8 months into this product and you need help, you need a liaison with the manufacturer, and we bring to the forefront those companies that are willing to help us maintain the high customer service level that we need to achieve our level of success.
Well, and that's a good point. I want to talk about that for a second because even the high end brands, the Sub-Zero Wolf, even those experience problems, right?
Yes, they do.
And
All
so,
manufacturers do have issues.
no matter what type of appliance you're buying, you may have an issue down the road, and you can't buy it and just assume that everything is going to be perfect with it. And
That's correct. I mean, you know, anytime man makes anything, we have the opportunity to have an error in it. You know, and all appliances, whether big or little, you know, do owe the customer a term of service out of that product and expectations being met. We have a customer feedback process where we ask you to call us if you do have a service issue. We don't own a service company, but we do help direct it to service companies that will better help you and suit your needs. Gives us a bigger voice as well when we need to get you service immediately. But by getting that feedback, I know what products are bad before I offer them to you. So I can eliminate a lot of the headache out of SKUs that are just sold blindly through other stores in, you know, repetition of 100 times, and then they got 100 angry customers that they don't deal with. We answer that phone every time, and we're going to be there till it's solved.
Good deal. Well, what do you say to the customer who says, you know, I'm going to go to the big box store and buy my appliances there because they probably have more buying power, or it's going to be cheaper ultimately for me to buy it at my appliances at a big box store versus an independent local company like Signature Appliance?
Big box stores, you know, their business models are a little different. They work off of credit card percentages, and they work off of bulk item sales. 360 days a year they sell at full retail. On special, you know, Memorial Day, Labor Day sales, stuff like that, they've bulk purchased a few items. Those will be sold at great savings, and I strongly encourage consumers to take advantage of those when they can. But when that product's gone, it's gone. What we offer is a full range of product lines at fair builder market prices every day. We will beat them the other 360 days of the year. So if you need that one product they're advertising, I would recommend get it. But when you need customer service, you need to understand what you're purchasing, and you're purchasing it for life, we would be your better choice.
Right, and they can pick up the phone, make a local phone call to Signature Appliance, and they've got a real live person who's going to be able to guide them toward a solution.
Correct.
for
Like I
that
said,
problem.
we specialize in customer service, and it's not the short, easy sale. It's the long run. It's when you have a problem a year later.
How many people does Signature Appliance employ?
Our sales force, there's only 3 salespeople. We have 1 receptionist. We've got 6 greatly qualified installers, and we have a warehouse crew as well to help us with deliveries. We're a little bit bigger company than we appear to be on the face, but we operate very well, and we can come in and out of any of these homes. I also have the proper equipment to move these heavier appliances into your home safely. I'll protect your floors, doors, and walls, and we'll leave it as the way we found it or better.
So customers really can make a difference when they decide to make an appliance purchase if they do business with a local company like Signature Appliance. Those dollars are trickling down to local employees. You've got over 10 employees, and those 10 employees are spending their salaries locally, and it really does make a difference where people spend their money.
That's absolutely right. You know, buying local is a big thing that I take personal pride in. I try not to ever buy anything big box unless I've spent, due diligence researching all of my locals. Charleston's a unique business and marketplace because of our local care and concern. Everybody beats the good old boy system. Well, for a long time it's protected Charleston, and I think that's where we're sitting now. We're seeing that Charleston has come out of this recession and it's holding a little better than the rest of the country. And I think a lot of it goes back to our local people being local and buying local.
Mm-hmm. So Signature Appliance, you folks can obviously help homeowners with a wide range of appliances in the kitchen. What about like washers, dryers? Does Signature
We do
Appliance?
washers, dryers, rotary irons, towel warmers, you name it, we've got it. We pride ourselves in our product knowledge and our ability to find the product that fits your needs specifically.
Good deal. And what are you seeing as far as trends for appliances these days?
Probably the thing I'm most excited about is the new combi steam ovens that have come into the market. I think that restaurants have taken advantage of quick preparation and easy preparation and reheating for a lot of times, and it's been a secret. Well, now we can put it in our home. And I'm seeing more and more homes take the steam oven for the healthy cooking, the quick reheating. The way it reconstitutes the moisture in the food compared to a microwave, there's no comparison. steam oven can do a whole meal for 4 and 12 minutes.
Interesting.
So
Is that how does the steam oven? Because what weren't convection ovens real popular?
that's I think a common misconception. Convection ovens and at least the Charleston kitchen doesn't really have a lot of function. Convection cooking's made for that pastry baker, somebody that needs to do volume baking, in a short period of time, where it'll do 3 racks of cookies in the same 15-minute interval. So it works great for the PTA mother, the holiday baker, those people that are using those things for gifts and stuff. Great time saver because they can do all of their cooking in about 15 to 30 minutes. The steam is different because you have in this combi oven, it is a straight convection oven as well, or you can add a percentage of steam to help add a little moisture or to help proof some bread, or you can go to 100% steam and simply steam some vegetables or some seafood or whatever very quickly and healthily. With today's health trends and everything, I think it's a great add to any kitchen to have a healthy, clean source of quick food. And it's something that, because we're cooking with moisture, anybody can learn to do it, because we always find moist food palatable and dry foods bland.
Right. Is there a dedicated water line or something that
No,
hooks up?
most of the models on the market today, there are a couple that are plumbed in, but most of them have a reservoir system that you would simply fill before using it. I actually prefer those systems. They just seem to be a little cleaner in my mind, just because I don't have a stagnant water line waiting there.
One less thing to
One
worry
less
about
thing to
breaking,
break,
too.
one less thing to drip on the floor as well.
Right, that's true. Well, tell everybody how they can get in touch with Signature Appliance.
We are at 1826 Belgrade Avenue in West Ashley. That's right off of Wapu Road. And our phone number there is 571-5735.
So if you were going down Savannah Highway, or if you were going down Sam Rittenberg, Wapu kind of cuts between those
Yes,
two?
it does. If you're coming from Savannah Highway from the downtown area, when you pass the Chick-fil-A, be looking ahead, you'll see the sign hanging over the road for Wapu Road. You'll want to make that right-hand turn and come down to the corner of Belgrade Avenue, which you'll see another old Charleston store, Weeks Furniture there. Make that left. I'm on your right 300 yards. And then if you're coming off Sam Rittenberg's side, if you turn between the Boot Jack and the South Carolina Federal Credit Union, that's the other end of Belgrade Avenue, and I'd be on your left about a half mile.
So a little bit off the beaten path, but I'm sure you pass those savings on to your customers, right?
Absolutely. That was part of our focus of being back there, is we knew when we hit the market that the niche here for us was to work with the builders. So we've emphasized our customer service, and that's why we didn't put the importance on being out on a main road, because we knew we needed to provide a value that wasn't existing in Charleston. And most of our clients that come to us, if they're not a builder, there are those that have been out there shopping and can't find the fit, or nobody's willing to come to their house. I'll come to your house just to measure your dishwasher to make sure it fits. It doesn't matter. We are here to serve you.
Good deal. All right. Well, we have been talking with Jeff McLean with Signature Appliance. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here at the Citadel's Johnson Haygood Stadium for the Custom Home and Remodel Show, and I'm standing talking to Darren of Pella Windows and Doors. Darren, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
How's the show been going?
Good.
Good. Now, your booth is pretty cool because you're surrounded on 3 sides by obviously some stuff that you sell. Can you talk about what you've got here?
That's right. We've got a French style door in swing on this side, and then we have a sliding door over here.
Okay.
Basically, this is our flagship Architect Series line that matches up with the Architect Series window back here. And then we have the Designer Series line as more of our contemporary style door, where you get the features between the glass, where you can raise and lower the blinds between the glass. And that keeps it away from dust and dirt, so you don't have to worry about maintenance, that sort of thing, little fingers, that kind of thing. But then you've got the shade option too. You can get blackout shade, so if you've got a room where somebody's sensitive for sleeping in the pitch black dark, you can get a blackout shade that works well, much better than having an interior blind or shade for blacking things out completely.
Okay. And you said this is Architecture Series?
That's right. This is actually a replacement unit. That it matches up with a more traditional appearance, the things that are typical in Charleston, especially downtown, the profiles, everything. If you notice, the traditional historic windows have a real minimalist check rail, this piece that runs across horizontally in the center, and then they have a taller bottom rail. You'll notice the depths on this window are much deeper than a lot of the competition out there, and that follows through to the exterior as well. So you've got, it's just a much more traditional looking window.
So Pella Windows and Doors has been around for a long time, right?
That's right.
How long?
They actually started in the 20s. They started selling roll screens out of his Model T Ford.
Really?
So that's right. In Des Moines, Iowa is where it was originally started. Then they moved to Pella. Before moving down here about 10 years ago, I was working at the factory in Iowa up there, so I got to learn a lot about the history and the background behind the Pella process, and the guy that started it and the family that still runs it today is still part of the same lineage that the guy that's not around anymore that started it back in the 20s.
That's a great story. I mean, I never would have known. So it's a family-owned business with a bunch of different satellite companies, because I'd imagine Charleston's not the only outlet you
That's
guys
right.
have.
Pella is set up a little bit unique in that they don't distribute through the lumber yards like most of the big manufacturers do. They have their independent sales network. Distributors generally, there's one per state. We operate our main offices in Columbia, and then we have our satellite office here in Charleston, among others, in different parts of the state. So we've been around. Like I said, Pella's been around since the 20s, and we've been around since the 60s. So it's been here for a while and has gone through the ups and downs, and is here to stay, hopefully, for a long time to come.
Now, working at the factory, I'd imagine you've probably picked up a lot of interesting kind of knowledge about
That's right.
the windows and doors.
That's right.
What would you say is kind of the biggest thing that sets you apart from your competitors?
That's right. Unfortunately, the industry, when you're dealing with ratings, this is one of the big ones that I tell people that's not seen on the surface, is the industry tends to allow one window to go through the testing process to get certified for a certain design pressure rating, for example, where we have an internal standard that far exceeds that, where we force a random 7 for 7 off the assembly line. So we have to take 7 windows off the assembly line randomly. They have to send them through the testing process internally, and if they don't pass, then we go back to the drawing board to redesign before we'll actually stamp that window as having that design pressure rating, for example. The industry, on the other hand, allows one window to be tested, and if that window passes, then it can be certified.
So it might be a fluke that one window works, and we're all awful.
That's right. It's a little more belt and suspenders, so that it's more assurance that what you're getting in the field is actually what was printed on paper. That's right.
Okay. So besides windows and doors, do you guys sell anything else?
We focus on windows and doors. That's our bread and butter.
All right. And that probably makes you guys an expert, right?
That's right. We like to think so.
Okay. Do you have a website? Well, before I ask that, I do want to say this upcoming issue is about remodeling.
Right.
And I think a big thing that people focus on when remodeling is efficiency of a home. But tell me, is that something that is important when remodeling? What's some of your tips for remodeling, people that are remodeling?
It is. Efficiency is a big one. That's becoming more and more widespread now. Most of the window manufacturers out there are getting kind of on top of the energy efficiency game, so to speak. There's a lot of upgrades to look at, potentially. There's a lot of advancements that have been made in glazings, for example, coatings on the glass. Probably the biggest recommendation is to talk to somebody that's an expert in their field, so they can really educate you on what the options are, where to spend money, where not to spend money, because there's a lot of in between. You don't have to necessarily go for the Cadillac everywhere in the house, for example. You might have a western facing side of your building that's going to get blasted with a lot of the afternoon sun. It might make sense to upgrade the low E on that side, but not necessarily on the other faces of the building. You might be wasting money doing that in other areas, for example. We've even had people mix and match product series. They might use a premium product series on the front of the house where People are in the common areas, the living room. Are you spending a lot of time during the day? You have guests coming, you want the front to look nice. And then the other areas, you can have a nice window, but maybe not go to the extent that you go in the front.
Great tips. Do you have a website people can check out to kind of learn more?
We do, Pella.com.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
That's pretty obvious.
That's there's an extensive amount of information out there. So.
What about a phone number to kind of learn more locally?
That's right. Locally, the best number to reach us, you can reach me directly actually at 800-513-3051.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And we've been speaking with Darren of Pella Windows and Doors here at the Custom Home and Remodel Show at the Citadel's Johnson Haygood Stadium.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here at the Custom Home and Remodel Show at the Citadel's Johnson Haygood Stadium, and I'm standing with JR of Remark Landscape Architecture. JR, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, and I'll tell you why. Because I get to hang out in cool booths like this. You've got some great sketches. This actually looks hand-sketched, is it?
It is. This hand sketch is a schematic sketch for residents out in Hugie.
Wow. You don't often see hand sketches anymore, I don't think. It's all on the computer, right?
It is. Typically, we always start out with hand sketches. It's really important, I think, to get the mind and the juices flowing for that creative design aspect.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really makes you look like an artist, and I guess you are an artist, right? At
That's
this point?
part of what we do is landscape architecture. Part of it is being as an art form.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about this particular drawing. What do you have planned here?
Yeah, this is... we have a lot planned here. The idea of having a small swimming pool with a full outdoor living space, shade structure, fire pit, cabana, outdoor room.
It sounds amazing.
It is. It is.
Do you have like a formula normally that makes like the perfect backyard, or is it just people will come and ask you what you think you should do, and you come up with a different design for every single person?
Yeah, we have no formula except site-specific, client-specific, which really is really important, I think. That way we try to match the architecture, the style of what the client's looking for with the microclimate.
Okay, microclimate. Now, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, microclimate, looking at shade, whether it's a wet area, a dry area, and just that way we get the right plants, the right hardscape, just the right environment for that space.
Now you're up here on the 4th floor, and there's a lot of people down on the 1st floor that are doing outdoor products and landscaping. How are you different from them?
Yeah, the main difference is landscapers install landscaping. We do the design. We have a 5-year degree. We're licensed landscape architects, so we have to take a test just like an engineer or an architect would.
So you've got a lot of background to fall back on. You have more knowledge than you'd say, a guy who mows the lawn.
Most definitely. Not that, I've mowed lawns. I used to do that. But no, we have background in architecture, engineering, ecology, city planning, urban design. And we have right now we have 14 years of experience. My wife and I both do.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, is your wife also a landscape architect?
She is, yeah. She's a landscape architect, and we also have one designer on staff now.
Okay, and I just overheard that you may be moving offices, is that right?
That's what we're hoping for, so we're supposed to close on the property here at the end of August, 1st of September.
Okay, wonderful. So you're an expanding company, kind of up and coming, would you say?
Up and coming, and I think we're focused on being downtown, especially in that creative corridor. We really think that's important.
Speaking of downtown, I've seen some of the work that you've done, and it's got a modern twist to it that I find refreshing in Charleston. Can you talk a little bit about your style?
Yeah, our personal aesthetic has had more of a modern twist, which in downtown Charleston, and we're in Charleston in general, is kind of a minority. Sure. But we're actually seeing a lot of folks coming to us with that modern aesthetic. So I think it's a growing trend in Charleston, hopefully it continues.
It's nice when you get kind of the exterior being a little bit modern, meeting the traditional style of a home. I think that's kind of a cool combination.
It is, because I think that's contrast. That's definitely design technique. So it's nice to have that contrast at times. And even in downtown, because you have historic elements, you want to preserve those elements. But if you're starting from scratch in something new, sometimes it's nice to go with what is of today.
I definitely agree. Do you have a website that people can check out and see your work that you've done?
Yeah, you can go to www.remarkstudiollc.com.
Okay, and a phone number?
Yeah, it's 843-746-9573.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We've been speaking with JR of Remark here at the Custom Home and Remodel Show.
I'm talking about a home. Talking about me and you. The things we'll do. I said a home. I'm not talking about a one night. I wanna be your man. I said a home.
You've been listening to Talking About a home show on the radio. Talking About a Home is brought to you by the publishers of Charleston Home and Design magazine and the organizers of the Charleston Home and Design Show and the Custom Home and Remodel Show. To make contact with any of the companies featured today, visit newhomecharleston.com, Charleston's online home show, and home to over 200 local home-related companies motivated to work with you.